I ain't no liar, I never met Glen Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tender Lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. I ain't never even been to that Tribulations joint you's here. Well, then how did you get these? That was easy. Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What you talking about? We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. What? If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was the book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? You've been snooping around in my stuff now, too, wise guy. What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. Order, order. Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Rah! Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? But listen good, alright. I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Oh, even Godot's smiling now. Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elg that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. Third testimony, that was quick. Excuse me. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cops' sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. What do we do with that testimony? There was no contradictions. Hold it! If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. Ha! No problem. Anytime Trite presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Godot, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and... So do it. Yes, sir. The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so yous know, since yous payin'. Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? At Tribulations. Okay, I'm gonna make a save here. Okay. Okay. What do you mean by hot? You heard the cop sirens, and you went straight back to your office. You mean you saw Glen Elg's dead body? I guess I did, but I only saw him from behind. He was wearing some raggy bit of cloth he called a hat. And what time was this? I don't know. Huh? You know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches. Round watches. I ain't gonna pollute my paws with some tit-kitten henpecker. Out of interest, Mr. Tigre, what winds you up the second most? Huh? What do you think? Square watches. Ha ha ha. Look, all I needed to know was that something bad was going down in that place. Okay. I heard the cops' sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. You went straight back? Did a bout of guilt suddenly hit you for what you did? What are you trying to say? You trying to tell me you's never ain't been guilty of something? We all have our crosses to bear. We all have to swallow the dark secrets we hide. Like this. The courtroom's not exactly the place to talk about dark secrets, is it? Another irrelevant line of questioning. I must impose a penalty accordingly. How about a penalty for those two jokers and the garbage they keep coming up with? Well, Nick, what do you think? He's running out of ways to avoid the truth. I need to press him fast before he has time to think things through. Gotta come right back at him. Kirby, right back at ya. Okay. So the meeting wasn't due to take place at Tender Lender at all, then. The kid was making a fuss about coming into the office. It's always that way when I want to talk about repayments, even though I got the best punching bag you'd ever seen if there are any issues. Maybe it's because of the punching bag that people are scared to come, so that's why you decided to meet at Tribulations. Ha! You're going over old ground again, Trite. Sorry! You just earned yourself a penalty, now suck it down. You will suck down the penalty, Mr. Wright, and you will like it. Thank you, sir. May I have another? When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. An ugly scene? What do you mean? The witness has already told us, Trite. Oh, darn it. I limit myself to 17 cups of coffee during a trial. That's the rule. You better limit the number of times you take a penalty, Trite, or your guts will look like the inside of a chimney. Ashen. Don't make me burn you again, Mr. Wright. Guess I'm gonna make that special express after all. Dang it. Okay, do we press this? So you didn't actually set foot inside the restaurant then? What? That's... Wait, you're saying you saw the body without going in the restaurant? So when did you pick up the matches? There are matches just inside the front door. Well, yeah, well, you still have to go inside the restaurant. Gumshoe. Poor Gumshoe. Okay. I think that's everything. You're something of a loan-collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes the tiger's clutches, while I'm something of a lie-detecting pro. And no one escapes the phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. Exactly. You couldn't have seen the body. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed. The witness would have had a clear view of the No. You saw the back of the kid's head. No. There was a divider. A partition, divider, same thing. Yeah, that's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision at any customer walking in ends here. Oh, now he's sweating. Okay. So from the entrance of Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat, but you did see the victim that day because you met with him. Wrong. Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim, witnessed by Mr. Cluedo, Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elk, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. Charade, whatever. That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Elk and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. I forgot to reload my save after taking those penalties. That's okay. I mean, who else? Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness. Grahaha. Now that's cute. Yous think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe yous don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle, so I dares you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts? You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You's got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Ha, perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Godot, let's just go back over. Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. Boom. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no, no, no. The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains, he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee. Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ha. Found your pen at last, Wright? It was in my pocket. Ahem, but anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind. Your point? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible that the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was bum 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 bum? The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident, and someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tender Lender. You's making a big mistake. Do you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird. Oh, where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, had stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy, and she had a kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to a half hour after it was over. There is only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You's got it all wrapped up nice, huh, Wright? But you's missed out on one real important thing. But that can't be. Oh, but it could be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you hear? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? Ha! What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're gonna need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony.